So yesterday on Happy Old Reds, I said I wasn't really that bothered even if we lost this because I feel like it's done. But with all the results, you know what? It's a little tighter than it first felt. Welcome to the preview for Aston Villa versus Forest. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome to the preview for Villa versus Forest. And there's a lot of team news and injury updates and everything else to talk you through. I'll take you through a couple of scenarios of teams we might see. And as always, if you haven't already, please don't forget, if you're enjoying the content, to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new here. And don't forget, if you want to be at Forest versus Chelsea with 2 hospitality tickets and a chance to win about 6 kajillion prizes, go check them out now at Football Prizes. Scan this QR code or click on the link that's pinned in the comments. You can win signed frame shirts from Murillo, Milenkovic, Nuno, Yatesy, all of them good things. Each ticket is, yes, 39p. Not pounds, pence. So go grab your tickets. The link's also pinned in the comments. All right, there's a lot of transfer news. There's a lot of injury updates I need to bring you on. There's stuff that Nuno said and there's the stuff that I'm hearing as well. So Nuno said that Ola Aina is out. Now reports have come out after that to say he might be back in time for the Everton match or the week after that. So it doesn't look like it's going to be long term with Ola, thankfully. But it's been a bad week for this to happen because obviously by de facto it will mean Moreno is out as well because this is his parent club, Aston Villa. Now, the other thing he said about Chris Wood was that Chris Wood we're assessing day by day. What I'm hearing is that Chris Wood might be able to make the squad. Whether or not he can start, I don't know, but that's the information I've got on that. Now, the other thing as well is that Eric Da Silva is touch and go to be fit for Saturday. He has picked up a knock. I know a few of you said that in Grumpy Old Reds yesterday, but double checked into it. And yes, well done to you guys. You are correct. He's fighting to get fit in time for the game. But again, whether or not he'll be fully fit enough to start, I don't know. And then would Nuno want to chuck a youngster in straight away who may not be fully match fit? It's touch and go. So it is a bit worrying in terms of the players that we have out. And because of this, is it time to make a few wholesale changes and start resting players? Because what we don't want to find ourselves in a scenario of players falling off, getting injuries, when we've actually done quite well throughout the season in terms of the guys that have been in the medical base. So that's a thought that's crossing my mind. Also, this Villa match, I personally think is the hardest match that's left out of the 8 or 9. How many we got left? 8 games that we have left. So once we get this out the way, if we can come unscathed, maybe pick up a point of it or whatever, that will mean, and we've rested some players. I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. Then they'll be more fit for the other games we've got coming up. We've got the likes of Spurs, we've got the likes of Everton, etc. So anyway, so those are the updates on the team news. What would you do? Would you almost not throw this game, but give it, that rest? Because this will be the 3rd game in almost a week. Now, the flip side to this is, if we do lose to Villa, that gap from Villa goes from 9 points to 6 points, and suddenly it's a bit more squeaky bum time than it was. If Newcastle win their free game, which is obviously the Leicester game, that puts them 4 points behind us. And this really does shuffle the pack up to us. It would feel that, like, if Villa beat Forest, they're still down to 7th. There'll be 2 teams that miss out on this top 5 race. If Villa don't beat Forest, then 1 will miss out. I think it goes down to 6. So there is some key significance, I think. I've kind of changed my mind on my stance on this game. Whether you guys do not agree, let me know in the comments down below. So let's go have a look at the team sheet and let's play around with it and let's see what we can do. Okay, so this is the team that started against Scumchester United. So there's some ones we can definitely take out. Ola Aina can come out. By the way, there's some rumours about Taiwo being injured. I don't know how true. I've got no intel on that one. So I'll make the assumption that Taiwo's fit, but there have been some reports about it. Now, I think the safest way to navigate through this game would actually be with the back three. I would switch Nico Williams to right wing back. I'd bring Morato in at left centre back, and then you got Murillo and Milenkovic there as well. So this is probably what I would do. I would go there, and then that way, even if you play Tuffalo, look, Tuffalo's not the greatest. He's not bad, but at least he's a recognised left back / left wing back. You could play that formation, and then if Tuffalo is getting cooked by Morgan Rogers, then at least Morato's there to cover it off, and there's strength in numbers. So I actually think the sensible thing to do would be a back three, and we're quite comfortable in a back three. Now, in terms of the midfield, I think there's a few players that need to be rested. Yates, for me, has had way too many minutes in a week. It's impressive how he's got through 120 and a full 90 against Manchester United. The other player that's looking tired to me in that United game was actually Anderson. I'd be tempted to rest both of those two, and I would actually think about bringing where is Dominguez? Dominguez in on the 8 and then Sangare alongside him. Now, I know that's not going to be popular, but just think about the long-term picture in terms of the games we have left, in terms of the difficulty of some of these games. Danilo, for me, is not looking right now, so I would not be playing him. Now, then what do you do here? Because Callum Hudson-Odoi is fit. Sorry, I forgot to mention that at the start, and available. Do you drop one of these two? Do you drop Taiwo? I might drop Taiwo. I still don't think his form's good enough. I might do a crypto here. Go Elanga up front, Gibbs White, and Hudson-Odoi there. I don't know. Have I got too many players here? Or have I got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? So that's enough players. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what way he goes. I just think a back 5-4/3 formation is sensible to protect the issues we got on the wingers. I think you got to play Callum Hudson-Odoi. I don't like Elanga in the false 9. I know Crypto came up with the idea of it yesterday. But honestly, I think he'd probably be more effective than Taiwo would. And when you think about it, Villa can play, especially at home, with a higher line. If you've got Elanga on that line against them to run in behind, you know what? It could work. I'm kind of convincing myself into it. Now, if this was going to be a back 4, again, you'd have a couple of options. Let's just take Sangare out for a minute and Tuffalo. What you could end up doing is shuffling Morato to left back, leave Murillo and Milenkovic as centre back, and then shuffle Nico Williams from left back to right back. Then you can go to your more orthodox setup. You could go Dominguez, Anderson, although I would like to see him rested. I think he's tired. And then you can go to the more orthodox 4-2-3-1. And then obviously Elanga there, and subject to Taiwo being fit, you could put Taiwo up front. I don't know if I like that for this game. And the other thing we're seeing a lot of is a 4-3-2-1 from Nuno. So again, what you might see him do is go Anderson, Dominguez and Yates across the middle. But then again, he's gonna, to accommodate for that, he's gonna have to drop a Hudson-Odoi or an Elanga or a Taiwo. So take from that what you want. I just think the most sensible thing here for me, I'm gonna do the back 5. I think the back 5 for me is the way I would go. I just feel it's more secure. Whoops. And it kind of makes a bit of logical sense. And if those rumors about Taiwo are true, then I don't think he's got many other options outside of it. What I'm saying though, kind of my overarching point here, is this is probably the first time this season where you feel when you're selecting a team sheet or looking at formations or strategies that it's going to be a tough one to call. It's the first time. Most times you can be like, right, it's going to be a 4-2-3-1. It's either going to be Dominguez or Yates. The rest are pretty much going to pick themselves. But because of the injuries, this one feels a little bit different. I don't mind this team. This team is good enough to get a draw or sneak a 1-0 or something like that. And it protects where I think the weakness would be on the left side with Tuffalo. Those are the options I think you've got. Would you go with any of those, or would you pick something different? So how do I see this game going? This is the one I'm worried about. This is the one I'm worried about. If we're going to lose a game, I would expect it to be this one. But I just feel like with the form we're in terms of results, we're not going to be easy to beat. And I don't think Nuno will let us be easy to beat. It's not so much that I think Villa are better than us. I think Villa are probably a bit fresher than us. I've seen signs of it in the Man U game. The players look tired. It's clearly a knock-on effect from the Ipswich game. I'll say this. Give me a 0-0 right now and I'll take it. I'll take a point. That keeps Villa 9 points behind us. Someone surely will drop some points in the chasing pack. And it will keep us very healthy. And then we can go into, I can't remember what the next game is. I think it's Everton and the Spurs game. Looking quite comfortable, knowing that a win or 4 points out of those, and we're looking quite good. But I would bunch these next 3 games into one patch. I don't necessarily want to look at Villa in isolation. And what I mean by that is that if Forest can get themselves 6 to 7 points out of these next 3 games, then I think we're in really, really good shape. So even if we lost to Villa, as long as we can beat Everton and Spurs, you're looking at 6 points out of the next 9. I'm more than happy with that. If we could get 7, I'd be ecstatic with that. This is our toughest game, clearly, until we go away to Crystal Palace, because obviously the Brentford game has been rescheduled. So I'm going to say a draw. I'm going to go 0-0. Now, I'm not doing the whole 0-0, oh, that means we're going to win thing. I genuinely think we're going to go there to try and get a 0-0, maybe hit them on a break, get a cheeky 1-0 away from home. I'll take that. But Villa have threats. Let's not, I'm not treating this game with anything other than it's going to be a tough one. Get your score predictions in down below. All right, don't forget, if you haven't watched Grumpy Old Reds or was Happy Old Reds last night, there was no cutting in or real arguments yesterday. It was a weird episode. Make sure you go check it out. I'll leave it for you on the end screen. Check out my predictions as well for the fixtures of this weekend over on the Footy Network. And if you haven't already, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed as well if you are new here. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.